Hey everyone, welcome back to the shop. So today I'm making some upgrades to my fast action or quick vise. This is a tail vise I built last Friday. I'll put a link in the description box below, or you can just hit the card in the upper right hand corner if you haven't seen this build yet. It'll make more sense if you go watch that first and then come back and watch this video after that. If you have already seen this video, you know that the little button on the front there is a quick action type of situation where you push it, it disengages the thread, you can move the tailstock, and then when you release the button, it re-engages the thread and you can tighten it down to clamp whatever you're clamping down in the tail vise. So now I'm just laying out some holes where I'm going to, some dog holes where I'm going to drill some 1-inch holes. I'm not using 3/4 inch. And the reason being is I've got some 1-inch Delrin rod that I have left over from a project that I never did. And it's just sitting around, so I figured I would use it. And so pretty straightforward, just use a 1-inch Forstner bit to drill the holes. And then on the headstock, or the part of the vise that moves, I cut a couple pieces of the Delrin rod flush with the top, and I'll explain this here in a second. And then I cut a couple pieces for the tail that were about 3/8 of an inch high. I used some card scrapers to kind of gauge that. I may end up cutting them longer. My big old fingers have a hard time getting down to pick up those little pieces, but they'll come in handy for narrow stock. So back on the head there, where I cut the 2 pieces of Delrin flush, I just added this plate, and the reason being this is an afterthought. I didn't build this vise into my table, so if I want to clamp a longer board, that little plate will stick over the top of the table, and then I can just put dogs down at the end of the table, and I can still do a 5 or 6 foot board and be able to clamp it down so it doesn't wiggle around on me. Then I came back and I added a larger head screw to kind of keep that button from falling out. I had glued it originally, but after beating on it with a hammer and chiseling and stuff, it kind of worked its way loose. So that screw was just a good alternative to keep it in place. So that's it. And as soon as I got it done, of course, I'm going to test it. I did also some dogs on the front, and that makes it so you can clamp boards up on the side like that, which is kind of cool. And that worked pretty good. So you can do some planing on the side. And then just a quick demonstration, like if you want to do a longer board, then the vise was able to, that little piece that floats over the table lets me clamp longer boards in. And of course you can clamp them on their side. Again, you just push the button, push it up against the piece, turn the handle a couple times, and it's locked in place. So that's been really nice. I will mention that if you over tighten this thing, because it's all threads at a 90-degree angle, it's like a ramp. So if you really wrench this down, that push button thread will disengage. You can still get plenty of clamping force for woodworking applications, but if you were going to really smack this thing with a hammer or beat on it, it would probably disengage. So I would make you aware of that. I am working, in fact, in the background you can see another vise I'm working on. That's a Acme thread vise, and I am working on getting a nut made. That's a quick release nut, so I'll be doing another video on that sometime in the future. But for now, this vise has been working really good. I'm super happy with it, and I appreciate you guys watching. We'll talk to you soon.